Good morning and welcome. The Chinese have put up a cyber iron curtain on all Chinese social media platforms. But India Today's open source intelligence desk has been able to penetrate through that iron curtain. And on the broadcast this morning, we will give you a sense of what's going on inside China and how Chinese citizens are questioning the stunning silence of the PLA on the number of PLA soldiers killed in the Galwan Valley. That's our top focus this morning. At the top of our broadcast, I'm receiving information that there will be high-level military talks between the Indian Army and the Chinese Army today in the Ladakh sector. It isn't known at this moment at what level these talks are taking place, but we've been told by highly placed sources in the Ministry of Defense that today important talks are scheduled between the PLA and the Indian Army on de-escalation in the Ladakh sector. Remember, there's been a massive troop build-up all along the eastern Ladakh sector, and in that context, this talk between the PLA and the Indian Army very, very crucial. Gaurav Sawant joins us. Gaurav, what information do you have about this breaking story and the latest rounds of talks this morning?
Rahul, the information we are getting is both China and India are attempting to dial down tension at the line of actual control, which has really spiked, especially in Pengongso and in Galwan area. Rahul, there's also information that there was some movement cited across the line of actual control in Depsang up north and in Demchok down south in Ladakh. So the attempt is to dial down tension and perhaps attempt to move back from the line of actual control. The modalities are now to be discussed at the level of commanders on ground. And this meeting, Rahul, will be extremely crucial to see which side begins to pull back first and which side, because India is insisting, Rahul, that China needs to pull back from finger 4 beyond finger 8 for any movement to take place, for any dialogue to proceed from this point, Rahul.
But the critical question, Gaurav, is given the kind of deployments that the Chinese have made, whether it's in the Galwan sector or in Pangong or even in Hot Springs, are they even in a mood to pull back? Are these talks going anywhere, or are they really being used as an opportunity to build up even more Chinese force presence behind enemy lines?
Rahul, you've hit the nail on its head. In the past, when there was a dialogue between the three-div commander on the Indian side and the Chinese commander, the Chinese used that as an opportunity to build up in the Galwan sector, especially also gradually in Pengong. So India will have to be extremely careful, and this is evidence that India will take to that table that China in the past has used dialogue as an excuse to build up. India would have to remain extremely vigilant along the line of actual control to see whether China actually wants to pull back or use this as an opportunity to strengthen further after the step back that the Chinese suffered at Galwan. But perhaps, Rahul, because of the step back that the Chinese suffered at Galwan, maybe they are wiser.
Thanks, Gaurav, for joining us. It's now time for a big India Today exclusive. India Today's open source intelligence team has dug out the kind of conversations that are happening on Chinese Twitter, which is called Weibo. This has been done by a Singapore-based open source intelligence expert, Kannan, who works closely with the India Today reporting team. And in these posts, which we're about to show you now, there are very serious questions being asked of the Chinese government, of the Chinese president. Why is the Chinese army not revealing the number of PLA soldiers killed? Why are they hiding information? If the Indian government can be transparent, the Chinese government's lack of transparency being questioned not just abroad but also within China. Sit back and watch as I bring you this India Today special open source investigation exclusive.
Their last trip home. India pays homage to its fallen soldiers.
मैं देश को भरोसा दिलाना चाहता हूं, हमारे जवानों का बलिदान व्यर्थ नहीं जाएगा.
The nation stands behind them in solidarity. The Indian democracy owned up the losses it suffered in the blood valley of Galwan. But the ordinary Chinese remain in the dark about their setbacks. Their anguish over censored information has poured out online.
Ever since the Galwan Valley clash, the Chinese netizens have been expressing a range of emotions on Weibo, which is their own microblogging platform. A closer look at the posts and comments enable us to see three key aspects and sentiments attached to them. Let me show you one by one. The first point is about the Chinese government not releasing the official list of casualties compared to India. The second point is a comparison of transparency factors between China and India as a nation, given India officially honored the martyred soldiers during the cremation. The third point is about the local media in China, which has not been seeking answers from the Chinese government and in fact has been acting at the behest of the Chinese government.
In a country where information is tightly regulated and frank voices are penalized and even punished, Chinese netizens are unforgiving of Beijing's complete blackout of PLA's casualties in Galwan. Many users of Weibo, China's own Twitter, say their government needs to lay bare the uncomfortable reality. This Chinese social media user compared to India's public homage to its martyrs, to his own country's censorship of PLA losses. And skepticism is growing over widely circulated, but unverified claims that the PLA troops were unscathed in the combat. Some Chinese netizens are worried about the condition of PLA soldiers posted in the troubled Ladakh region. Ordinary Chinese people have turned to social media to report that their loved ones in the PLA are not contactable. And many just cannot trust China's state-controlled media anymore. Given China's record in suppressing information, its citizens may have to wait longer for Beijing to disclose the casualties from June 15 bloodshed. With Sai Kiran Kannan, Bureau Report, India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.